Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Play on Playoffs, where the regular season is just glorified preseason. Folks, we got some good news for you. We don't have to worry about the regular season. We are focused on March Madness. We're in the swing of arguably the greatest time of year. Your bracket is guaranteed to be busted, even if you have that paper bracket that you forgot to document online. Folks, it is time for the Sweet 16. We just got done with the first two rounds, and let me tell you, last weekend did not disappoint. For one, we had the smallest team in the field, FDU, who just had to win their first four game to make it into playing the 1 seed. And yeah, FDU defeated 7-4 Zach Edey and the number 1 seeded Purdue Boilermakers. That was one heck of an upset. And now we have to move on, even though that was arguably probably the biggest upset in the history of March Madness. But folks, we have to move on. We got to preview Thursday's night slate of the Sweet 16, and we are starting things off with a doozy. We have number 7 seed Michigan State versus number 3 seed Kansas State. The Wildcats taking on the Spartans. This is a fun one. You've got Kansas State's Marquise Noel, who on Twitter is Mr. New York City. He's a kid from Harlem, and he's now playing in Madison Square Garden. I don't think he's ever had a chance to play in New York City before in his collegiate career, so this is big for him. And you also have to keep in mind that he has someone he has to worry about. He has to worry about Mr. March, Tom Izzo, and the Michigan State Spartans. Number 7 seed has been pretty kind to Tom Izzo and the Spartans over the last several years. And this is going to be a fun one. And one of the things to keep in mind on, if we're going to continue talking about, which we should, Marquise Noel has scored or assisted on 93 points through the first two rounds for the Wildcats. And that is 24 more than the next closest player in the tournament. He has been the player to watch this tournament. If you're not getting Kemba Walker type vibes from Noel, then I don't know what to tell you, man. He is something special. And Keontae Johnson, those two paired together, they are just lethal at those lobs and those alley-oops, and it's a lot. But you know, and this isn't the typical high stakes. Well, I guess it is high stakes March Madness, but Michigan State this year, they don't have the umbrella of pressure that they typically have. And yet, Tom Izzo, it's March, baby. He just does his thing. He figures it out, and he's done that through the first two games. And this game will be an interesting one to watch. You know, I mean, you got to think about this for Michigan State. If you're Michigan State, so you got Joey Hauser. He is coming off a really emotional game for himself because he and his brother once went to and played for the Marquette Golden Eagles, who they just upsetted, and now they got to move on. So Michigan State shooting overall will definitely be something to watch, as well as their defense. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Kansas State, they could get it done. I'm not going to give you a pick right now or anything, but Kansas State, Michigan State, the battle of places that actually deserve to be called states. And the next game on the docket, we got a doozy for you. We got number 8 seeded Arkansas Razorbacks going head to head with number 4 seeded UConn Huskies. This, in my opinion, is a game of coaching. You have Dan Hurley and the Huskies going against the Muss-Bus, Eric Musselman, and the Razorbacks. There's some really, really good players on this team, on Arkansas's team, I mean. Ricky Council, Devontae Davis, Anthony Black, Nick Smith Jr. But if you're not talking about him, you should be. Maybe the best defender in this game, or at least on the team, Jordan Welch. No one is talking about this kid. He was doing incredible things, even despite a couple of, including himself, actually, even despite a couple players fouling out in their win against the defending champs, Kansas. This is a fun one. This should be a good game because on the other side, with UConn, you have Adama Sanogo, who, aside from being just a fantastic quote, he is so dominant inside the paint. And we even saw him over the last weekend. He was shooting threes. He shot at least a couple threes. And they went in. So, and the problem that the Huskies used to have that has been fixed this season is they used to not have any perimeter shooting. And now they do. They have Jordan Hawkins. Jordan Hawkins is probably is their best shooter, but also keep an eye on Jerry Calcaterra. He is also a really good 3-point shooter. Like I said a million times, this is going to be a fun game. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while now. So, yeah, this is going to be a game of coaching and a game of depth. The next game on the docket is Florida Atlantic, the number 9 seed, versus Tennessee, the number 4 seed. The Vols, the Tennessee Vols, and the Florida Atlantic Owls. So this game, Tennessee for majority of this year, especially I believe it was February. Offense was their issue. Offense, they could not figure out how to score. And like most teams, they've had their fair share of injuries. But the good news for Tennessee, they have elite defense. Elite. They are ranked number 1 in adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom. And they just have really good depth. Their depth has been how they've been able to survive injuries, and their key is just going to be figuring out how to score the ball. Yeah, they just need to score the ball. The defense speaks for itself. The Florida Atlantic Owls, they're an interesting team. They're an interesting team. They're the ones who knocked off FDU from their potential Cinderella run last weekend. Their key factor, it's going to be John L. Davis. He scored 29 on FDU last weekend, and he had 12 rebounds, 5 assists. He is their X factor. So this should be a good game, but let's be honest. Tennessee should win this game. Time to focus on the last game on the docket for tonight. Sweet 16. Oh, baby, it is here. Sweet 16. Come on. We have Gonzaga, UCLA, 3-seeded Bulldogs versus the 2-seeded Bruins. This is a rematch of 17 years ago. Adam Morrison crying on the floor. Gus Johnson on the call. UCLA making a huge rally at the end, comeback of 10-plus points to defeat Morrison and the Bulldogs. Adam Morrison crying on the floor, that is a memory for all of us college basketball fans, and we get to see a rematch. Now, enough about the past. We got to focus on the present. Let's talk about the Bulldogs. Drew Timme, aside from just having the distinct honor of, I think, being the only player to ever swear twice on national TV after huge March Madness wins in consecutive years. Drew Timme has found a home. Drew Timme has found a home in the Sweet 16 3 years in a row. This guy has been at Gonzaga. I don't even want to make a joke. He's just been at Gonzaga for a while. Like that's just the reality. And Drew Timme, he's each year he's been taking his game to another level. Like we've talked about before, Gonzaga this year, they don't have the same umbrella of pressure that they typically have on them. They're under the radar this year. They have questionable point guard play and stuff like that. And but Drew Timme has become a leader this year, and I think that is huge for the team, and they need him to be a leader. I mean, he's been around. I'm not going to make a joke. I told you I was going to make a joke, but he's been around forever, and he's also really stepped up his free throw shooting, and that is huge. I believe he used to be subpar at the line. Still not great, but he's getting up over. I believe he's a little over 60%, which small improvements, but any improvement that comes to the charity stripe is important. Now, the key for Mark Few, Drew Timme, and the Bulldogs is they've got to get help from other guys besides just Drew Timme. Drew Timme, great player. He's not gonna. He can't do everything for you. So who do they need to step up? They need Julian Strother, their guard, to step up. In their last game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 10 points. How about Rasir Bolton? We question, like I said earlier, we question their guard play. But Rasir Bolton, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 17 points in the last game. Malachi Smith had 11 points, 5 rebounds. Anton Watson, 12 rebounds. All these guys, they just, for Gonzaga to continue their run this year and to defeat the Bruins, they need these other guys to step up. They can't put it all on Drew Timme. And on the other side, we have UCLA. Mick Cronin, his defenses are always known for, they're just aggressive. They are stingy. They find a way. Now, Drew Timme, he's a winner, but if you want to really see a winner, look at Jaime Jaquez. He has been there. He's been there for a few years as well, and he was there. He was there in 2021 when they had their epic run in the tourney. And I think one of the factors that makes this game so interesting is Gonzaga, number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency. UCLA, number 2 in adjusted defensive efficiency, only falling behind Tennessee, who we already talked about. So this is an offensive versus defensive game. And UCLA has had their fair share of injury issues this year. And they found a way. Despite losing their star, they found a way. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I got goosebumps just thinking about this game, thinking about who we got. UCLA, a much more well-rounded team. Because UCLA, 21st in offensive efficiency. Gonzaga, 75th in adjusted defensive efficiency. So UCLA, more well-rounded, and also UCLA Tempo. They don't have it. They don't have it. They're 245th in possessions per game. Gonzaga, 40th. So the pace of this game is going to be interesting. Folks, that will do it for today. We have an exciting games in store for us. March Madness rolls on. Thank you so much for watching this preview of the Sweet 16. We are going to be moving on to tomorrow. And folks, let's just enjoy the madness.